Hi, welcome back. For the fifth part of this video, we'll see curve modeling. So, what is curve modeling? So, you can access curves with Shift A and adding there a curve and Bezier curve. We'll not see the other ones, but you can explore those. Bezier curve is very similar to the pen tool in Photoshop. So if you go in edit mode, you'll see it's a bit different. It might be orange on your end if you're in 4.0, but it's green in the 5.0 version of Blender. So, when you have 2 points, it looks like 6, but you have 2 points. You have this point and this point. You can move them, and you can see the curve reacting. So each point has 2 handles, similar to vector. It's vectors, and it is vectors. So it's very similar to the pen tool in Photoshop. You can take a handle and move it that way. You can use it in 3D, and personally, I don't really often use the handles themselves. I tend to, for instance, take a point and scale it. If you take a point and scale it, it's just gonna make the handle closer. And you can also rotate the point, and it's gonna rotate the handles. And if you keep the handles even, you're gonna get better results. Then I can extrude, and then I can add points that way. If you want a thickness to this, you can go there in data, then go into geometry. You will see the panel is different from the mesh panel. If I had a cube, this is different. See, you have different options because this is a cube mesh and this is a curve. So if I want thickness, I can go in geometry there and then add depth. And it's going to make you a tube. You can change the resolution of this tube, and you can also change the resolution of the curve itself. That way, you can also change the thickness with Alt-S. You can change the thickness of a point. You can access the values of the thickness in the top right panel there in Item, and you can change the radius. It's the same as doing Alt-S. So it's called bevel because it's very similar to a bevel. If you go into profile, you have the same options we used to have with the profile. You can change the profile there, and this represents a quarter of your tube. So if we go into side mode, you will see this. See this pattern there. It's essentially the pattern you have there. So it's a cool thing where you can just move this and have like complex shapes that way. You can also rotate those with Control T, and then it allows you to rotate. Keep in mind, it's going to make a pinch point because this is rotated, this is not, and this is not. So you have to continue it if you want like a smoother approach there. See, it's going to allow you to make the twists more grounded. So you cannot have like crossroads in a curve. So you can still take a part and duplicate it and have multiple curves going from inside the same object. So you can have this, you can rotate it and have it wherever you want. Be mindful that you can still change the depth, and what you have in thickness there is a percentage of this. So once you have this, you might want to convert this to a mesh to have access to everything. So I can just right click and convert to mesh. And then that allows me to have an actual mesh where I have access to the polygons. I don't have access to the curve anymore, of course. So this is the way you can convert it to a mesh. You can go it the other way. For instance, if I have a plane, and then I'm just going to remove a corner, delete it, and then have floating vertices, I can just, for instance, do the shape of tubes. And then I can also bevel, so the vertex bevel we've seen briefly in the modifier section. I can smooth those corners. Then once I have an edge loop that I like, this looks nice. This is still vertices, as you see, there it's a mesh. So I can just, in object mode, right click, convert to curve. And this now is a curve. So nothing has changed yet because it will have a thickness, but I can just have a thickness there. So now there's a shortcut for this. You don't have to go in there. You can still go in the modifier tab and go to generate curve to tube. So that allows you to have a tube. And it's also going to do UV map, which is pretty neat. And you can change the resolution there. And still change the sampling of the curve. This is not going to change anything because those are segment points. There's no curve between them. One cool thing too, you can... Sorry, the cat. So yeah, if you have a curve there, you can also break handles. If you want a sharp edge there, you can right click and then go to set handle type and free. This allows you to break, and you can break a curve and have something very sharp. It's not going to play nice if you put something there. Be mindful, but it can be sometimes relevant. Same thing, if I have this and maybe I want to go back to a curve, well actually it's a curve, sorry, if I converted this to a mesh there, and maybe I want something like a curve, like I want to get back a curve. So what I can do is I can shrink all this with Alt S because it pushes stuff in the direction it's looking, so it's always going to shrink a tube. I can Alt S and make it very small, and then just take whatever edge loop I like, duplicate it. I can invert the selection with Ctrl I, delete, and then I can convert this back to a curve and put thickness. It can also be used to deform meshes. So for instance, if I have a chain, so let's do a quick chain, and like this. Let's insert, delete, and then extrude, and then just... Actually, wait, maybe we can do with the new modifier, we can rotate it at the same time. So we can just put 0 there, move it a bit, and then rotate it 90 degrees. There we go. Yeah, let's just offset this a bit. Wait, this looks weird. Ah, this works. No, it doesn't. Wait, what have I done? I scaled, my mistake. Let's just move this. No, wait. Why does it do that? Maybe it was my origin. Yeah, but this is fine. Okay, so we have this, and then we might want a curve to follow this, or at least have the mesh follow the curve. So I can create a curve, then I can move my points, wherever I want. And then I can go there and do a deformer curve. I can pick my curve there, and I just have to find the right one. Y is good. Try to have the origin in the same point for both. And then I can have this follow. So if I lock in X, for instance, I can move it, you see, along an axis, or Y, I can move it along the curve. One cool thing is that the array there, if you have scale applied, be careful of this, be mindful of this, to always apply the scale when you can. There, I can, wait, actually, now it works in one shot. Okay, let me try this. Okay. Oh yeah, but then it doesn't work. Okay, yeah. Let's go back to edit mode and do the rotation thing just there. And there we go. So let's just crap. uh this is annoying. This is annoying because it used to work properly before. It's just like, yeah, okay. Well, there used to be an option. It's not there in 5.0. Sad. There used to be an option there called fit curve, where you could just have the array use the proper amount. But that's okay. We'll do without it. Let's just do a line and then re-add the deformer curve. And just add it back that way. The old school way. That works. And just adjust there. And there we go. And this is it for curve modeling, which can be useful for doing hair or complex shapes, for instance, for ornaments.